Hello, wild ones. This week I am bringing you a throwback. I did Inktober in 2019 and I'm doing it again this year. And I just thought it would be fun to watch the flip through. I filmed it in 2019 and never posted it. I was still really nervous about content creation then. The drawings were really beautiful, so I thought you might enjoy seeing it. And if you don't know what Inktober is, I will insert the prompts here. Um, and it is a kind of group project. Usually I find most of its content on Instagram. And most people, the precept when it started was to draw in ink. I draw in ink all the time. So this year I'm trying Procreate, which is something that scares me a little. I've never done any drawing in an app form, so I'm giving it a go. And I'm really liking what I'm doing there. I'm at Cole Woohoo over on Instagram too, so if you want to follow me there, that'd be great. And I made it to 200, so 200 subscribers. So I'm gonna buy myself a little, and the channel a little treat. I'm gonna get a lav mic to hopefully improve the sound quality of these. If you're enjoying this content, please like and subscribe and enjoy a previous pandemic me, talking about all the things Inktober. Good morning, wild ones. I did Inktober this year, where you do a small drawing each day. And I was traveling, so I put them in this little envelope that I made from some printed papers I made a while ago, and some former art pieces that I made copies of, and just a piece of cardstock. And it was kind of cool, so I wanted to show you. I was traveling out of country, so this was essential to keep things organized in my backpack. So I did my entire Inktober with a fountain pen, except for this one, which is kind of hilarious. This one I tried to use a fountain pen and actual ink, and I didn't like the way it kind of bled a little bit, and I'm sure if I was staying home I would have stuck with this method, but since I wasn't, I switched to a different pen. But this, what I really wanted to do for Inktober was make what I did pre-Inktober was I stamped them all with the date and with the prompt, and I outlined the Polaroid. So I wanted to stay with a tiny drawing because I knew I was going to be on the road for most of the time, and I wanted to combine a quote with an image. That was my goal for the year, or for this October. So I won't go through all the quotes because you can read. But after that first one, I switched to this pen, which is a draw fountain pen. Really basic. It's a pretty small square tip. And I went through 3 different ink cartridges. So these little cartridges, I went through 3 of these in all of these drawings. So from here on out, it's this pen that I used. And it didn't explode on the plane, so yay for it. And it is a speedball pen. So this was the Mindless, and it was interesting trying to find quotes that made sense for the prompt. And the prompts were actually really challenging for me because it isn't my usual not doing self prompts or doing kind of love and light prompts. It was interesting to work on ones that were a little bit more spooky for the season. So there's that one. This one was Bait. And I love this little fish. It makes me very happy. And I don't know if you can see the texture of the background, but I tried really hard to make my blacks, because I'm so used to using a bigger, thicker black pen, not all one way, so that there was a little bit of texture in the black too. Freeze, and then what I was going for here was more of a statue. I'm not sure she's completely successful, but I really like turning all of the male archetypes and moving them to female and seeing how that feels in my body and in my heart. And this is a drawing of my house, and my home is built on curiosity and hope. And those are the two things that I think we come at every problem with. And this was the day I left my home. We flew from Seattle to London on the 5th. And this is all about an Inuit legend that said that the gates of heaven are guarded by huskies. And I thought, what would the gate of heaven look like? And what would a gate guarded look like? So I tried to make another kind of stone carving for what I would see as Heaven's Gate. And I remember when my brother passed away, it was a beautiful fall day for his funeral, and it was sunny out when we went into the service, and it poured down rain while his service was, and by a little bit after the service, it was sunny again. And all I could think was, even God wept, because he was just taken too soon. And I thought about that when I put the eyeball and the tear coming down as if it was carved that way, because I can't imagine a death that isn't mourned. Enchanted. This is my mushroom topped lady. I like drawing big naked ladies. I just do. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. A meme that was going around that a couple days before was that some bees in Australia had made a spiral honeycomb, and it was gorgeous. And I tried to do a recreation that was very indicative, but not necessarily structurally perfect. But I loved it. I really like this card. Swing at Moonlight. This is probably one of my favorites. I was trying to find ways to do black and darks or in grays that were beautiful, but also not just always a big black background. And this is the day we flew from London. We actually went out to Bath and spent 2 days in Bath. Then we flew to Berlin, and then we ended up in Paris. So this was a pattern quote that travel shakes off the dust and pattern of every day, and it reminds you of who you are. And that's actually one I wrote. Snow was an interesting prompt for the season where it felt really still fall. Here we have, actually here and where we were, it was still beautiful sunny weather and lots of changing leaves. This one I really thought was fun to do. I'm not sure it reads, but she carries dragonfire with her. I was thinking of dragonfire as a spell that she carries with her, and that this would be some like crazy witchy room with like a spell brewing. I was really into this prompt of like putting quotes that just came from me with she, and drawing the she as a kind of very amorphous woman. She let the banishing blaze burn and the ash scatter. Ugh, fun. And then overgrown, pumpkins, 'tis the season. And that's another kind of gray scale background where I tried to do a pattern that wasn't quite black, but wasn't quite boring, like, because I only had one pen, so didn't have grayscales or anything I could work with. I could have added water. I was on the road, so things had to be pretty minimal. She spun her own legends. I love a prayer book I made a couple years ago, and I think about that as I put together the legends I tell my child, and what we talk about when we travel is like the legend of the earth that is right there. And we try to investigate different traditions wherever we go. This is definitely me. She ran deep into the wild. I love the juxtaposition of the really ornate kind of gateway and the wilderness that surrounds it. This is ornament, and I thought this was funny because I actually was trying to make a pillar because we'd gone to the Roman baths in Bath, and this little owl was the Owl of Mervina, and I took her home. I bought her on the trip, and it was so cool, and I love it, and it's on my ancestor altar right now. The sun is creeping in. I hope I can get through this before it really takes over. This one's kind of fun because I think of Halloween, especially Halloween in the US, is the season of misfits, and they dress up everywhere. And I tried to just do like 3 iconic misfits: the witch, Dracul, and a ghost. Oh, this is one of my favorites. A couple of years ago, I made webs as my kind of Halloween makeup, and I loved it, and I recreated it here in pen for slings. She slings webs. And this is one that I realized that other people also messed up this prompt, but it's tread, but I thought it said thread. This is like well into our trip. We're in Paris. I'm pooped, and I did thread. So she is the thread that binds their souls. Love that one. And because we were in Paris, this was I was flying home this day, and Treasure, a national treasure, we'd gone up at night the night before we left Paris, and oh my gosh, the Iron Lady, she's inspiring. I also really love using quotes from my favorite songs in artwork, and this is from the song Ghost from the Indigo Girls. I'd walk into the fingers of your fire willingly. Ooh, yummy. She walks amongst the ancient ones. I love big trees, and we are from the land of big trees. Seattle has lots and lots of big, huge evergreens, and sometimes you feel that small with that big of trees around you. And this one is, I'm not sure it reads. I want to give myself credit that I think it kind of reads. I'm going to sneak this down. Sorry. I was dizzy a lot in Paris because everything there is a spiral staircase. So I found myself using mantras of centering to try to get through it. So I center my energy and connect with the core of the earth. So I was trying to not be dizzy. So I was using that as a mantra. And then we came home, and of course, like 2 days after we were home, I made some salsa with some friends. I'm part of a canning crew. We try to bottle the season and preserve the flavor or the love of the season, and it's always tasty. Dark. This one's kind of different. This is from, this image is an image I did on a soul collage card, and I was trying to recreate that soul collage card, and she was like the moon. Part of her was always in the dark. I'm not sure it's super successful, but I like it. I don't know if she needs to be bald. She looks more alien than I wanted her to look. This is a coat that I saw a lot in Paris. This kind of cape shell with just holes cut in it so you could put your arms through. And I want to make myself one, so I decided I was going to make one. I'm actually probably going to work on it later today. And then we watched The Last Jedi to get ready for the next movie, the next Star Wars movie. So this is from the cover of one of the sacred text of the Jedi, and the rebel symbol. And then I tried to do like rebel writing, but I'll admit I just kind of made it up really quickly. And I wanted it to kind of look like our text. But for me, this says ride or die, Jedi. Uh-huh. So I thought that was kind of a fun one. And this is a quote my husband said to me because I was trying to find some inspiration for injured. And he's like, oh, I know exactly what you should do. You should do, I was once an adventurer like you, but then I took an arrow to the knee for injured. And I always like the triple arrow symbol. So that one was kind of fun. And this is Catch Fire. This is a pumpkin I did to set some intentions for the season that's coming up, for the dark season. We have in Seattle, it gets dark at like 3:30 or 4:30 coming up next week when daylight savings time happens, and is dark until the 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So it is a very, very dark season. And to prepare me for that, I try to find cool ways to remind myself of how much I love the fall season. And so I burned a bunch of candles on top of a pumpkin and put some intentions on top, and we'll have that in my house for the whole winter to hopefully guard and protect me in the dark season when my emotions kind of get the better of me at times. And then finally, one of my favorite fall fruits is the pomegranate. And I love the image of a pomegranate. I've been wanting to embroider a pomegranate for a really long time, and I think I embroidered one for my Paris tiny embroidery, but I have not. I really want to do one with beads and really lush, so I'm hoping that I can get that done this winter. And I just love, whenever I think of the word ripe, I think of a pomegranate because you kind of have to wait for them to be perfect sometimes. So that was my Inktober, and I really liked it. If you want to see these more in depth, they're on my Instagram page, and I'm Cole Woohoo on Instagram. And I hope you enjoyed my flip through. I hope you liked that video. I liked rewatching it. It was nice. It was nice to see what I was thinking about. And I love the combining of quotes and little drawings. And I think it's really beautiful. I use that pocket all the time, but I haven't pulled out those particular drawings I usually make photocopies of all my drawings and then add them to art mail when I'm doing art mail. So I need to probably do that, find those and record them. But I hope you give it a go. And if you want to start now, I don't see any reason why you couldn't start right now in Inktober and do the last few prompts. And it's a lot about camping and like nature this year, and I will definitely do a learning video. I'm kind of filming a long-term video on that one right now. The secret word for the comments is try stuff. Give it a go. So if you can put that in the comment for me to let me know you were watching till the end, and please take care of yourself, each other, and the earth. See you next time.